Speaker. This long-term energy plan confirms what we've said all along. After the next election, the Liberal electricity borrowing scheme gets wiped out. But this $40 billion borrowing scheme is going to cost ratepayers an extra $4 billion long-term, because it was never, ever intended to be an electricity plan, Mr. Speaker. This is a re-election plan for Kathleen Wynne and the Liberals in Ontario. Speaker, the unfair hydro plan is yet another bad deal.
I'm going to remind the member that titles or ridings are to be used in this House. Carry on.
Speaker, the unfair hydro plan is another bad deal for Ontario that's going to drive up electricity costs even further. How much more does this minister think Ontario ratepayers can afford on their electricity bills?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So when we look at the electricity price outlook, Mr. Speaker, we brought down rates, Mr. Speaker, by 25%. That is actually clear. Right as day, Mr. Speaker, that rates are down 25%. Then they come down a little bit more in 2018, and they're held to the cost of inflation for the 3 years after that, Mr. Speaker. Then, as we said just moments ago, Mr. Speaker, when we were talking about the long-term energy plan and talking about it to the media and to the people of Ontario, we're going to continue to take costs out of the system. We have examples of doing that, Mr. Speaker. Besides the 25% from the Fair Hydro plan, we actually didn't build new nuclear, cutting out billions of costs. We didn't actually bring forward the LRP2, reducing billions of costs, Mr. Speaker. We renegotiated the Samsung agreement. That's what you do, Mr. Speaker, is you find out ways to reduce costs when you have plans. On that side of the House, they don't have a plan, and they don't have a clue either.
Final supplement.
Speaker, it took this government almost a year to come up with this long-term energy plan. It was supposed to come out in December. Here we are in late October, and we get a plan that really doesn't remove any costs from the system. This is a $40 billion borrowing scheme, and the Liberals even managed to break a basic law of economics today. Demand is going to stay the same, supply is going to stay the same. Prices, however, will shoot to new record highs after the next election, and that's even after they cook the books to make households smaller.
The member will withdraw.
Withdraw.
You may finish.
Thank you, Speaker. Only in Liberal Ontario is this even possible. Mr. Speaker,
we're into warnings. Finish.
Speaker, everybody can see through this $40 billion borrowing scam. They have to stop fudging the numbers. When are they going to get serious about taking costs out of the system?
Proceed, please. Proceed, please. The member will withdraw.
Withdraw.
And if it happens again, I'll warn him. And if you'd like to talk to me and have a debate about it, I'll get you named. Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Very clearly, Mr. Speaker, the opposition has no idea on what to do with this file. All they can do, Mr. Speaker, is stand up and complain. This is a plan that is bringing fairness and choice. It is bringing—
The member from Niagara West Glanbrook is warned.
This is a plan that is bringing forward choice, Mr. Speaker. It's bringing forward fairness, and it's a real plan, a realistic plan that the people of Ontario can actually look at and help them understand where the electricity system, where the energy system is going, Mr. Speaker. On the other side, they haven't brought a thing forward, Mr. Speaker, not one thing that would actually do anything to lower rates, but only increase rates.
Answer.
We've brought forward the 25% reduction through the Fair Hydro plan. We've taken costs out of the system. We'll continue to roll up our sleeves and do more for the people of Ontario through this plan.